the final boss, and this is Kieta Memory. There was a really cool intro with AI animations and cool art talking about if your memory lives forever, do you live forever? If you lose your memory, who are you? And so that seems to be hello, Odinir, and welcome. So we're jumping right in to Kieta Memory. I had a cat who's I often call. Thank you for the follow, those of you who have followed. Odinir, welcome, welcome. I had a cat that we would call Kieta, and so this rings true. Yep, left button, spacebar, got it. Hello, thank you, great. You can go back in the story. Well, you can go back to space key, have multiple choices. I mean, I wonder, so, the question, the music shows us what song is currently playing. That's cool. How's it going? Just saw you're starting reviews. Well, thank you. Thank you for keeping the good times going, and welcome. Were you doing some feedbackquest stuff as well? That's awesome. Because I have a game in feedbackquest, and some other developers were other people were very kind and played World Seekers. So I was like, well, I gotta get more streams in. What's up? Hello! How's it going? And welcome. Remember me. I'm like Grandmama Coco. I'm getting very forgetful. If you get that joke, Grandmama Coco, remember me. Gee. Nice! Well, welcome. Oh! I talked on Thread. Welcome! Yes, I'm connecting the dots. It's a very slow process. Rolling with the punches is pretty hard but interesting. Well, yes, if you want, you're welcome to try my project, World Seekers. But excited. Grandmama Coco. Yes, but if you want to try it out, let me know. But my first note to the developer is, I think if someone's downloading a visual novel like this from itch.io, which I don't think this had a Steam page that I could find, they most likely know how to navigate a visual novel. Or even just general, if you play the League of Legends minigames, you know that clicking advances, you know that, clicking and spacebar kind of the same. I mean, there probably are some hotkeys I don't know, but and then you click on the dialogue choice. So even in my World Seekers game that has visual novel elements, the one thing we don't tutorialize is the visual novel piece, because it's just very, very organic. You kind of, you really have to not play video games ever to need a tip. One more secret check, please say text box. Cool. Choose your name, we'll get started. Daniel. I'll just be Daniel, sure. Sweet Science Recap. What? More fast-paced focus on the main story. Ideal if you're... I'm going to do TV cut. That is cool that they give the option. Sure thing, I'll check it out next week. Well, thank you. And thank you for the raid. And hello, Sloan. How's it going? I'm still learning all these social media things, like threads and blah, 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 and there's so many. Let me open it. Anyways, Chapter 1, Sweet Science. Alright. Oh, I just saw the thing. Do I watch anime? I watched Full Metal Alchemist and a few, and I want to watch more, but for some reason, whatever subscription service I have is not as chill about giving me free access to more things. It's 2002. The euphoria of the new millennium has fizzled out. Oof. Feel that. The economy's on life support and you're claiming to a painfully boring job to suspiciously shady law firm. You're underpaid, overworked, all single. What to do? Well, mostly nothing. Now, you walk past an old castle and suddenly, whoa, I like these animations. I think I'm actually really curious from the developer's perspective how you put this together, right? Because one, I saw the game file was big. It was a 2 gigabyte game for the demo, which is a lot. That means these are like high def images coming in. So like one of the things I've had to do in my game, because I want it to be for mobile, is to downscale everything and to put it through tiny PNG, minimize video usage. But it is really cool to see, hey, kind of pulling out the stops, having these like really sharp little video clips that come in. Sure thing. Yes, thank you. Oh, and there's an incoming ad break. Maybe I'll snooze it. We'll see. I don't know. Twitch is weird. I'm in 1992. Wait, what? Nobody knows that somehow you're smack in the middle of high school science camp, the name you were supposed to attend, back before people had a cell phone, and when floppy disks... Sounds awkward, maybe, but you immediately met 4 unique girls. Azuki, Marie, Patty, and Sylvia. Which one of the lucky... yeah, our lucky contestant. That feels very game showy intro. Maybe not quite. Murray's too shy to say anything. Patty won't shut up about physics. Sylvia is the Baroness of Sundara, and her tongue is sharp as hobnob. And Azuki, she's a sci-fi nerd and floats through life with a daydream butterfly. With the pink cat ears for whatever reasons. Or are those actually... Are they? Yes, it's like she's wearing a thing. Okay, you end up in the same class as Suki and start getting to know the girls. They're not so bad. Okay, so one thing I will pause. So I think you get away with exposition by doing a fun poppy intro like that. But you still have a hook further out, right? Like, because usually, much more than information about the world, it's the plot hook that brings the characters in. Like, oh, I just got teleported back in 10 years to 1992. Also, like, a little strange to have, like, a narrator impersonated, like, personified. Like, that's very common in literature. And something you'll do is have, like, the speaking narrator, the redactor. It's like what Tolkien does in Lord of the Rings, right? He's like, oh, I found this book in the Shire, the Red Book, and I'm putting it together with what I found out from, Bilbo's, adventures. And there's kind of that redactor narrator. But yeah, all I'm saying is, like, those would be... I don't think it's anything that's, like, breaking the flow of the game, at all. I do think that I would just flag that, hey, these are like yellow flags. Like, oh, that's kind of strange. Oh, it's like, I'm getting a lot of exposition up front. It's done well, and it's like flashy and fun, but those are the things that first come to mind. Get your head out of the teacher. Dynamic events, dramatic events. Yeah, I have a brown belt in Taekwondo. I'm so sorry about this. Fights against dragon and dragon ladies. Who you calling dragon lady? Explosions. It was only a teeny explosion, barely noticeable. This time it didn't even make a crater. Science fiction stories. I never make things, or is it? The castle's on fire or not? Soccer people. And much more. Okay, so I will flag one thing. I like the, it's a balance. Like one thing, it's hard because I don't know the visual novel format quite as well. I will say that if you did this in a screenplay or a novel where you just kind of say, this is what you're in for, it's really fun, that probably wouldn't work. The other, like, more subtle elements that I think it causes problems with is you just introduced me to, like, 7 characters in a matter of, like, 7 clicks, right? And so to some degree, like, even those 2 soccer people, like, can I go back? Backspace? No. Okay. Backspace. Yeah, like, let's see this. Like, there's a dragon chick, there's the 4 people. So I'm going to count my clicks and count the characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the narrator, I guess. 7, 8, these two people look different. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I think the dragon and the lady's separate. 14. 15, 16. So, like, in 20 or so clicks, I've gotten introduced to, like, 7 or 8 characters. And then if you count this, it's 25 clicks, I've gotten introduced to almost 10 characters. Like, from how are you welcoming a reader into the world, that's something I would see as a risk, right? Like, I think this is a fun intro, so it's not something I think you should definitely change and, blah, blah, blah. But it's just something to be aware of, right? Like, in other genres of fiction, these would all be, like, more problematic, right? Like, introducing 10 characters in the first 10 pages of, like, a movie, and if I'm expected to remember them, that's really a lot to ask of the reader. And on the flip side, you had a hook, you're like, oh, I teleported 10 years ago, but then now we're just kind of talking about exposition, so that hook kind of just got trivialized because, like, I didn't get to feel a character's reaction. Like, the character didn't say, oh my gosh, I'm in the past. What the heck is going on? There wasn't that moment of, like, a character, like, parsing what had just happened. They're just like, oh, sweet, I get to, like, date the people from, like, my old, like, high school or college or whatever. Which, again, reduces the stakes. And then, obviously, there's, like, a bajillion characters here that I'm not assuming I need to keep track of. Not her, not her, not her. Where was I? Alright, it's a Suki, you're Stargirl. Wait, you're talking to me? I'm not from the stars, I'm from Japan. It's my parents who are from space. It's their home planet. Your sci-fi jokes are sunny there. She's not joking. Zuzu is really a Stargirl. Her funny sci-fi stories are real. How much they'll lean into that going forward. And that's the thing, right? Like, there is always a balance of, like, if your readers... Because that's the thing, it's like, who's your audience, right? If your readers say, are anime fans, they know the genre, they know what's going on, and this is kind of like the vibe that audience wants, then don't, like, then don't change a thing, right? Like, if you're delivering what your audience wants, don't change a thing. In that case, I would say, if this is your core audience, then you should definitely cut the tutorial intro, because that audience, I imagine, already knows how to play visual novels. You don't need to tell them to press your mouse button to advance. But anyway, she's really from the stars. Her funny sci-fi stories are true. Parents are really from space. They're like rangers in a national park, and we're the wildlife. Did you know that Earth isn't the only nature reserve in the galaxy? There are thousands. My parents told me about this one species in Virgo. The player? What do you mean? Oh, never mind. Anyways, you and Daniel leave science camp, hearts entangled in a star-crossed love. Whatever. Love is actually a fascinating psychological phenomenon. Wait, so we're not in the story anymore? That's outrageous. I'm Baroness. I demand screen time. So it's very silly and fun and breaking the fourth wall. But again, like, just from a writing efficiency perspective, I would say the same thing this lady is saying, which is you just spent, like, the first... I've been playing for 10 minutes, right? Like, recording for 10 minutes. You just spent the first 10 minutes of this game introducing these people, and I've been talking a lot, granted. And then we're just like, it doesn't matter, never mind. We're only focusing on this one, but yeah. Wait, secrets? Nothing. I should probably have this up for Marie, because starts piecing together the whole time and space. No, he's actually dating a girl from the stars. I was never certified right. Let's finally start the story. Okay, hi. Enter Chapter 1, Sweet Science. Chapter 2, Days of Innocence. Science camp finally ended. The students are taking a train. As a stranded time traveler with no forwarding address in 1982 was bound to end up as lost luggage. And so I met her parents. So, like, the narrator is also me, the main character? Is that what it is? Danielle, what the heck? But then the narrator did not look like the character icon of Daniel that I was shown. I come in peace. The best of all is you. I'm Yuko. I'm Ray. Welcome to our family. Let's go to space, mother lover. Get in the back. We're going to space. Trip only took a few seconds, but it was just 1,000 things I learned in time with my beloved. Spaceship landed in an abandoned factory. Cool. You might want to blur the edges of this. I'm definitely seeing a little bit of artifacting. Just overextending it, and then in like GIMP or whatever photo editor, Photoshop, just blurring the edges gives it less of like a bitmappy outline. Hello and welcome. It's been a day. Going to grab some Z's. Yes, wise decision. I'm about to pass out soon too. I wanted to try to get some games in tonight. We'll see how successful I am. Spaceship landed right inside an abandoned factory. We got off. Secret space hangar. Our house is next to this place. I wish I could just... Okay, yeah, I guess I can use the keyboard. Don't worry that somebody just saw us now. The shuttle's too fast for anyone to know us. It's a ghost town. So I'm in space? You'll find out soon. It's bigger. Whoa, is this the same chick? She looks completely different. No, that's her mom. Okay, that's her mom, who also looks like the same age as her child, which is weird. Robot is finally happening in the room, and abruptly stopping and falling to the ground. Oh, he's an Earth human, but he knows everything. No need to play dead. So I think the animation's really good. I like the dynamism of, having some 2D movement. I mean, I feel like with this is probably I haven't played a ton of visual novels, but among the ones I've reviewed and played, this is definitely using the genre's tools the most and the best, right? There's movement, there's a lot of sound. I mean, almost the music is a little intense from time to time, but I'm seeing it's it's much more dynamic than you might normally see. Right into the room, ponytails up and down. Oh, well, I introduced you again. This is my little sister Kiki, and this is Marvin, our house robot. I've never been introduced to a little sister of a girlfriend, even less to a robot. But thankfully, as we continue, this is Danny, my boyfriend. I started to smile stupidly when I heard this introduction. Well, nice meeting you all. What, my sister leveled up? Well, let me see. 6 out of 10 for looks, 5 out of 10 for size, 1 out of 10 for fashion. What weird t-shirt. I didn't bring any clothes from 2002, and the clothes that Mr. Young gave me were a bit eccentric. So, literally, did I just, only wear hand-me-down? Yeah, I guess that part of the story just, I know, hi and bye. Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Go to sleep when you drop by. Oh, thank you for dropping by, and thank you for letting me know I won't ping the channel and bother everyone. But yeah, have some good rest. I'm probably gonna head to bed. We'll see. I want to try to do two little VNs. Yeah, because another person sent a game to review over Rate Lost in the Wild. So that'll be next. What do you mean? He's from Germany? I think it's time. You see, Daniel isn't from another place. That explains his odd fashion sense. I'm an Earth human, but Daniel's from the future. So again, it's kind of Yeah, I guess some of and I know in more fantasies, this style of story, maybe it's not as critical, but one of the things, at least writing sci-fi, has been drilled into my head is always making sure your world follows its own rules. If you're going to make, people being able to snap their fingers to teleport, somebody who, I don't know, dances to teleport, doesn't make sense. That's a terrible example. But all that to say, the world that you're building needs to be really consistent within itself. The things that are a little confusing is, one, it's they all know I went back in time, So it's also like, are these parents cool with like, some like 40-year-old, 40-year-old person being like, hey, I'm back in high school. That's like a little strange. Like I would just want some explanation, like that I go into my previous self. But then if I like my consciousness teleported into my previous self, then why am I wearing weird clothes? Wouldn't I have my family and blah blah blah? Or is this some kind of cutscene prank? Time travel is literally impossible. Everyone knows that. 10 years in the future. Some weird accident. No way, it's ultimate cheat code. It's true. We don't believe it at first, but given all the facts. But when were they given all the facts? I feel like I just met this girl yesterday. Because again, like, it's like, oh, I just got my clothes. Like, so like, oh, back. Yeah, that would explain it. Even humans. Where was it? There was like a reference to it specifically. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm bad at this. Yes, I didn't bring any clothes from 2002, and the clothes that Mr. Young had given me were eccentric. So, like, what? Like, if he's been dating this person for, like, a year, and they finally fell in love, great, but, like, I imagine there would be an opportunity to go to, like, a clothes store, buy something that's more time-appropriate. So, like, that part, I think, is, like, a little strange, as well. So, yeah, like, all that to say is, like, and it is tough because I don't know visual novels quite as well as I know like traditional novels, screenwriting, right? Like that's kind of where my background comes from. But like the risk there would be to like the kind of like the rule or the thing that you would think about is never compromising the integrity of the world building for a joke, right? Like if like suddenly like and I kind of see that happening with some of the humor where you're cracking a really funny joke, or you're like, like this is silly or whatever, but then it like undermines some of the stuff we've learned about the world, which is a problem, right? Where if you say, oh hey, I snap my fingers to travel, and then all of a sudden, like it's super funny that somebody puts a hat on him and you can't snap your fingers anymore, haha, like whatever that is. Like, it starts breaking the integrity of the world. And so, yeah, I'm also extremely sleepy, so forgive me if I'm... Oh, yeah, so I don't have lottery tickets. Yeah, I mean, I think the dialogue's great. I think that's actually one thing you're doing really, really well, is, like... all the characters sound, or many of the characters sound unique to themselves, right? Like the robot references, flaws as bugs, and he's, that's one of the big keys in screenwriting is can you cover up who's talking and still, by just reading the dialogue alone, understand, hey, this is who's speaking, this is what their goals are, this is like who it is in the scene. Like that's like a really good thing to practice. And I think you're accomplishing that here, which is awesome. I can tell you that something called PlayStation. 1998, there will be a game called Legend of Zelda that changes gaming forever. A new Zelda game? And what's up, PlayStation? That sounds epic. Oh, let's go, but compared to the Star Human stuff, it's kind of the level. With whatever technology, yeah, it looks like something they could pull off. They could pull off in a few years. But yeah, it's like, yeah, But again, like, if the parents are already convinced, like, we're also spending a lot of time, like, right, like, 20 minutes into the game now, I'm still not 100% sure what the hook is, right? Like, I thought it was going to be a romantic plot, but I already got the girl. We're already dating, right? Like, this person's already in a relationship. And so there seems to be a lot of banter. but there's not really much conflict. Like, there should, I would want a hint of menace, right? Like, I just transported 10 years back in the past, and everyone's like, ah, cool, you're time traveler, what's up, time traveler? And like, maybe I'm just like a more like hard sci-fi person where like it all must, fit together perfectly. And, I should just like, just, you cannot, not even the EO know, who knows what kind of problems that would cause. This will be our family secret. Super rare Easter egg that we mustn't share. Well, if any port, why keep it from EU? They're supposed to handle these kind of things. So that's good. So thankfully we're getting a hint of menace at last. Like there's some sort of organization that's trying to figure out what's going on. I do think it's a little bit late in the game. I would say that should have, again, like I think pacing wise, it's introduced at the right time. But there's so much padding and like dialogue and banter and introduction and setup before we get to kind of the first, like, oh, hey, there's somebody out there looking for time travelers and they're not nice. I think that's coming a little bit too late. Less because of where it is positioned in the overall arc of the story, but more because there's a lot of other elements of the story that are slowing down us reaching that point. Exactly. But I don't have knowledge about time travel. So again, that's another thing. Time travel knowledge in the right hands, but we just explained that it was an accident. I didn't know how I did it. Do they think they're gonna like, cut up the main character and like see, oh, this is, like his liver was time traveling, like whatever it may be. Like those are, I think, also elements that, for consistency, I'm kind of, worried that humor is kind of getting in front of consistency. Time bomb of information. Turn my mouth on mute. This whole situation. But again, I really like the, I think you're doing a really good job with the dialogue. Like, this sounds, like an alien gamer person, Like, I don't know if that's how gamer people talk now. I'm not a Gen, what is it, Gen Z or whatever, but maybe they turn their mouths on mute. I don't know. But I believe it for this situation. I believe, like this, this gamer person, they're going to say stuff like that. Felt the same as Kiki. It was still drowning in dread when Kiki's sudden face lit up like a light bulb. What will Earth human get back? Flying cars, cell for us. Backups? These things you copy your brain just in case. Oh yeah, none of that. Earth stinks. Such a long time. I think Daniel is just about perfect. She made exaggerated gagging sounds gross. Too much romance cutscene. Young love that transcends the fabric of time. How poetic. You've had your Y2K vaccinations. But did he just get back? So like, did I go back into like a timeline where I'd already been dating like this person for a while? Again, like I'm still, I think, I haven't really found, I don't think I have a clear understanding of what exactly has happened. And so it brings a lot of the other facts in the story. Like you have like the foundation upon which we're building, like the story and the plot is a little shaky. Like, right, it's not super clear to me exactly, like, did you time travel and then you were in school you were in the camp for a year and then during that year you started dating Azuki and then she took you home, or did you like time travel to like a different timeline where you had already been dating Azuki for a year and like suddenly her parents are cool with it and they're like, oh yeah, like your past self told me you would be coming back as like a different personality. So I think that, like, I mean, again, one of the reasons that, it's always very tricky to write time travel in fiction. But yes, and it's for that reason. It is very tricky. But then again, like you have to have, and it also puts a lot of extra explanation on the writer, right? Which is a downside, right? Like the last thing you want to be doing when you're ramping up a story is like, okay, like this is how it works, and blah, 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 blah. Like you want to be telling a story. And so that's another risk of time travel is you find yourself doing a lot more exposition, doing a lot more explaining of the world mechanics, much more than actually telling, like, hey, there's conflict, there's a drama going on. And so I think that's also what I'm finding that's missing is I'm really looking for some conflict and drama to kind of get going. What do I do? Kiki was already winning and I stayed. I don't care. Is she mad now? Guest room. We don't need much sleep, so we have more time to learn. Already knows a lot, but sometimes causing quite havoc with her experiments. Marvin's room and his coursework's related like parents. Quite a lot of rooms. It's bigger from the inside. Well, my parents shouldn't live too much below minimum star human standard, even when they're on Earth, so that put some effort in. On the outside, however, it must look normal so people don't notice. So we're still on Earth? Yes, we're still on. It's my room. It's not very tidy. It looks really nice. Thank you. One of my favorite child magic girl, Azuki. She has the same name as you. That's why I probably like her so much. She's cool and came down from heaven to make friends with humans. You're an angel. Oh, you're an angel too. I want to hug her. My mom's voice came from dinner is ready. Bad timing. My parents. Yeah, I feel like the face changes a little bit. That's a little bit more noticeable. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's some different tools being used, but I will say that, yeah, that's probably the most, like, kind of in-your-face one, and then also, like, some of, like, the cups definitely look AI Jenny. That's the other thing, too, is, like, how much, that, even in other games, I would say, like, hey, it's worth it to, try to get some asset packs and, mostly use asset packs and only use AI if you really can't. Because there's a lot of, like, great, like, really consistent art that's already, ready to go. Eyes wide and gelatinous rainbow with the purple blob. Is food supposed to be... It's delicious. Kitchen always does a good job. That's pretty fun. I like the little blob. Strawberry cheesecake, nebula berry pie. That looks horrible. I hate it. I want it off my screen. Thank you. Anyways, what are my thoughts? I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I do want to try to look at another game. I've played for about a half hour. What are my thoughts? I think on the writing side, though, that feedback around, hey, is it consistent? Are you keeping a consistent reality of this story world? And I think when that wavers, and it does waver, it really pulls at least me as, hey, maybe the audience that loves VNs like is okay with like a joke kind of breaking reality, breaking the fourth wall, changing gears. For my personal experience in reading, I would say no. But that would probably be harder for me to get into. And the art, like, obviously, yeah, there's some AI, those are some funky chairs. Which is fine. I would just say that just to have it look more visually polished, the more you can rely on asset packs or free art, it's just going to generally be easier. Though, again, like, sometimes it's just all you can do is AR, and that's fine. I have no problem with it. I like a lot of the animations you did. I think a lot of the visual, like the intro movie was really cool, and the little bouncing Jello guy on the dinner table was cool. But I'm finding that we're spending a lot of time just kind of witnessing the coolness of the world. Like, oh, I'm a time traveler, sweet. Oh, like I finally met the girl of my dreams. Awesome. Oh, we're going back to meet her family. Oh, and they have magical dinner. And like, which is like a kind of like a cozy mechanic where you just kind of immerse in a world and feel really comfortable and just enjoy being in a world. But I feel like for me, it felt very devoid of conflict. Like there's no uncertainty in the story yet where there's not a high stakes thing coming up that I'm not sure how it's going to work out. right? Like, yes, the future is unknown, but there's no stakes to that. Like, it's like, oh, like, am I gonna have breakfast or blorgs for lunch for breakfast? Am I gonna have French toast or blorgs? I don't know. Feel that's much lower stakes than like is EAO or whatever that organization is. They're gonna do a patrol of this neighborhood tomorrow, so you need to like prepare. Like that is time countdown. They're looking for time travelers. They want to dissect them, whatever it is. I think that would help add some stakes. But anyways, thank you so much for sharing this with me. I'll write up my thoughts as efficiently as I can in HIO, and thank you. This was really cool. I was really impressed with like the visual elements, and especially like the dialogue was super great in terms of really having a specific dialogue feature. Is she mad I didn't go play games? Who was rather cool. Didn't mean to be a jerk, but I was like, whatever. Anyways, but thank you so much for sharing this with me. Much appreciated, and ta-ta for now.